Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I've just jumped onto the Cordless handheld vacuum cleaner. This is my first unit that I am trying, and this is the Bossman Kaden, or in Malaysia also registered as the PerySmith Kaden Pro K3. So this video we are going to have a look at the unboxing, what is inside the box, and then I'll charge up the unit and then try out all the accessories, and then give you my final thoughts of why I actually chosen this against other models in the market. So let's have a look at the box itself. Now it says Bossman Kaden, or in at least in Malaysia, Singapore, Lazada or Shopee site, it's also known as the PerySmith K2, K3. It says registered in Japan, so I don't think this is manufactured in Japan, just registered in Japan. Both the K2 and K3 comes in the similar box. So on the box, how do you know which particular model? Of course, there is a color difference. So on the top side of the box, there's actually a tick mark. So I actually purchased the Pro K3. And the reason I'll share with you later why I actually purchased this. Now on one side of the box, you actually see Japanese characters, so I don't read Japanese. So let's have a look on the other side of the box. So just quickly looking through at what is on the box. It says 25.9 volt HD lithium-ion battery, smart inverter motor. So apparently it comes with an inverter motor, at least that's what the packaging says. Cleanable HEPA filter. Now I've asked the question to the manufacturer to see whether this HEPA filter is actually washable or not, so they didn't come back. So let's have a look at that. There are a few detachable brushes, whatever. So in terms of the ratings, we're just going to try to show you if you can see. Rated power is 150 watt, that would be I think normal cycle, to 250 watt, that would be the extra power cycle. Rated voltage not important, motor speed not important. Apparently the section power is 19 kilopascals. Probably this is in their turbo mode. Dust tank capacity 800 mils. The weight is 2.5 kgs. Let's have a look at the weight afterwards and see which part actually weighs the most. Good thing is it's got a detachable lithium-ion battery, so if the battery goes away or becomes faulty, you can swap it. Charging time 4 to 5 hours, operation time 25 to 45 minutes, and this would vary, the operation time. Alright, so let's and it also says the difference between the Pro K2 and Pro K3. I would, based on what I've seen online, it's almost exactly the same. The K2 is a red color model, the K3 is a purple color model, and later we'll have a look inside. The K3 has a soft action floor brush. It also have an extra dust mite brush for sucking up or cleaning your mattress. The rest should be fairly similar. Okay, so let's do an unboxing right now. Let me just do this. There we go. Just making sure that everything can be seen in the frame. Now there of course are so many other videos out there on YouTube already, but I didn't actually find one that's particularly thorough. So there were questions that I didn't find answers to. Okay, so let's have a look. What is inside? Manual. Don't know what this yellow color thing is though. Okay, got no idea. But that's the manual. Let's leave this aside. This would be the extension arm. People say this is made from aluminium. Sounds like aluminium. I'm just gonna leave this aside for now. Okay, this is probably a protective thing. There is a wall mount that is useful. There are some models that does not have a wall mount. It comes with screws and the wall plug as well. Okay. In terms of the nozzles, there are 4 attachments. So let me just quickly show you. There is the floor brush, soft floor brush. There is the crevice tool with extendable brush. There is the, how do you say, the tapered tool for corners. And this is the extra one. This is fairly heavy. I actually don't know why this is so heavy. I'm not sure what this is actually inside, but I wonder if this is actually the dust mite brush, and this feels very heavy. We'll have a look at this afterwards. Okay. Charger brick, and this is just normal barrel connector. Okay, so this is the main unit, the housing unit minus the battery. Okay, let's have a look at this in a bit. It's actually not big at all. It's actually quite small. I'd say about 25 cm height. And of course the battery. Okay, so I'm going to show you, or try to show you, how much it weighs. Right, so let's have a look at just the body. This is without the battery. So body without the battery is just under 1 kilogram, so it's 944 grams. And the battery is 382. Right, so if you put it together, it's about 1.3 kgs just for the, so this too is about 1.3 kg. So let me just before I add that, so 1.3 kgs for the body and the battery together, so that's not very heavy. Okay, now I'm going to move this aside and then just going to show you some of the other accessories. Now I was saying the this is the floor soft roller. That's about 550 grams. The dust mite brush, which is fairly heavy for a small unit, that's about 240 grams. This is fairly light. This is the crevice tool, that's under 100 grams or 73 grams. And then the tapered tool, that's not heavy at all. This is just plastic, 50 grams. Okay. And the rest are not so important. Just weigh this for you. This is about 215 grams for the extension tool. Okay. This is the body of the unit. Let me make sure I get it into camera. Okay, this is the body of the unit, and in fact, let me just try to zoom out a little bit more. All right, the dustbin is a pressed hatch, so you can just press this and it opens. And this is a good design. Now what I've seen in other units is like they would have a latch at the bottom down here that you have to open and then it will drop down. I don't like that design because the latch, if it's held down here, would actually catch dirt as the dirt comes out. So this is a good design. Okay, so you don't have to touch the dirt. And then to open up the unit, to disassemble this, we have to remove the handle. So you just press it up here and the whole handle assembly comes off. There are contacts to the battery down here. Now next we can open this by turning it to the unlock position. So to lock it here and then unlock it. Okay, then we can open this. This is the motor. Leave this aside. And then right, so this thing is physically sealed inside. Let me just close the bottom again. So this is apparently the HEPA filter. I'm not sure if this is a HEPA filter. It looks like it's just sponge. You know what? I don't believe that this is a HEPA style filter. This feels like sponge to me. I'll have to check this and confirm. So this is not like the HEPA style composite paper type filter. This feels spongy. So not a good development. Then there is a sponge that is just on top of the mesh. So this will actually filter out some of the larger particles before going into the, I suppose, the more finer sponge down here. And then the bottom unit, I think this is supposed to be a screw up there, and it comes off like this. Okay, so this is basically a metal mesh to separate out the larger particles of dirt. Then you just turn to lock it into place, and all this is washable. Of course, the sponge is also washable. Let me just put back the sponge. And then this particular filter, there is no way that this is a HEPA filter. It is sponge, but let's see. Maybe what one can do is to just put a piece of HEPA material on top to help with the filtering. Not good. Okay, let me just put this thing back. It needs to be fully seated inside. Okay, and that's good. Okay, and then this is the motor. This is where the intake is, and then there is actually another cover on top of the motor, and there's also a extra sponge filter which is removable, where the air intake will come out from. You know, it makes sense right now, right? Why do you need a sponge behind the motor when there is a HEPA filter at the bottom? No dirt is going to come out of this. The fact that there's a sponge behind means that this is not a HEPA filter, which is a bit of a letdown actually. Okay, let me just put this thing back. Okay, and then we will put this thing back. Okay, just push it in and then turn it to lock. Okay, so once it's locked, the pressure would keep all the inside sealed. No, I'm not happy actually, because I was hoping that that's a HEPA filter. I don't think it is, but that can be actually improved on by maybe just buying a HEPA style filter and cutting a circle and then just placing it below that high density sponge. That would help significantly, I think. Okay, that's what it is. Okay, let me basically put back the okay, and that's where the battery goes in. There's a connector. Okay, so let me just show you the battery itself. The battery can be charged by itself or attached to the unit. This is locked. To attach the battery, you just like align it at the bottom, okay, and then just push it in. That battery is in. There's a lock here to remove the battery. This is the turbo button, I think. Or let's see. Okay, there's no power, but let's see if I can. This is normal suction, turbo, off turbo. So this is normal mode. Suction is okay. The air comes out here. And turn it off. So this is the crevice tool. There is a plastic brush that you can extend, so in case you need to brush off dirt to get sucked in, or you can just release the brush so that you can use the tip for suction. This is the taper tool. This is just purely plastic. Now this is the dust mite mattress brush which comes with the unit. This is provided free with the Pro K3. The K2 doesn't come with this pre-included. It's kind of a heavy. Oh, I get it now. Okay, because this brush is actually motorized. That's why there's a motor down here. So that is why this is a little bit heavier. Okay. Let's see if we can try out this thing. So to attach it, the power connectors are at bottom. We have to align it with the bottom. Okay, push it until it clicks, and then the dust mite brush you can actually swivel. Okay, you can see the brush actually turning. So this would help to brush off the top of the mattress to get rid of any dust, or else the suction will like remove the dust mites. Oops. Okay, I'm just gonna move this aside. I don't know if this is aluminum. This feels plastic with maybe just powder coated. Feels of relatively good quality. I'll show you how long it is. Okay, though this is about 65 cms. Yeah, so 65 cms. Okay, and this two electrodes at the bottom will convey power to the brush at the bottom. And this is the soft floor brush, so you can see like the connector just goes up and down. Okay, and it swivels as well, so it goes up and down, and then it swivels left and right as well. Okay, now one of the reasons why I actually bought this is because there are like 3 LED guide lights here compared to some of the other brands which does not have. This brush is not the plastic type brush. This feels like nylon, soft, almost like cloth. It's not cloth, it's nylon, but it's not those bristle type brush. So, and this is good at picking up smaller dirt, but maybe not as good as like larger objects. Maybe the bristle type brush would be better for larger objects. Anyway, let's connect this. Okay, and then let's have a look. See, I'll turn it on. You can see the LEDs, the LED coming on, and then the brush turning. Okay, I'm just going to remove this. And then this is the wall mount. Comes with the screws. It requires 3 holes. So what I'll do is I will go charge up this unit for a couple of hours, and then we will try to do some vacuuming. After you've left it for quite some time, the battery will get fully charged and the 4 LED lights will stop blinking. Now when I bought this, it came with 3/4 full, so it took about 1 hour to reach full charge. So let me give you a recap of what is in the box. We have the main body of the vacuum cleaner with the attached battery, which is removable. We've got the 65 cm extension handle, which extends the vacuum cleaner. We've got the Mite suction brush, which is for cleaning mattresses. We've got the tapered tool. This is for reaching small narrow spaces. We've got the crevice tool with the extendable brush, and we've got the soft roller floor brush with the LED lights. And of course there's also the mounting plate, and this is what comes in the box of the Kaden Pro K3. So to use the Kaden Pro K3, you can either attach any of the nozzle directly to the body or via the extension tube. It's all electrically connected, so we can try one at a time. So the simplest one would be the narrow tapered tool. So you basically just push in until you hear a click, and then to remove you just press the release tool and you get released. Okay, and then so this you just turn on. And that's the narrow tapered tool. I'm just going to release this. So to use the crevice tool, and this is good for vacuuming small spaces or in the car. Okay, so you can use it with the brush on top like this, or with the brush extended, so that's for brushing. Now this is the extension tool, so you want to attach it with the electrical connections below. Got electrical connections at the bottom, so basically just until it clicks, and then you can attach the handle or the brush at the end. Okay, and the same way you can just unclick and release that. Alright, so I'm going to remove the handle just to show you the other brushes first. Okay, so I'm just going to remove this. Now this is the Mite suction brush. It's a little bit heavy, about 200 over grams, because there's actually a motor in here. So we'll just attach this. Okay, and this you can actually change the angle, and when you turn it on, the brush actually brushes, so it's good for cleaning mattresses. Let me just remove this. And finally is the floor soft brush for the floor. Okay, and this one you can basically taper like this, and you can roll at the same time. Okay, and the good thing about this is that it's got actually soft rollers as well as 3 LED lights. So if I turn it on, so I'm gonna try out this on the real setting, and then I'll show you. So I've got the dust mite brush installed. Let me just turn the thing on so you can see it brushing. You can see there's actually lint in the suction cup right now, and that's just after 10 seconds. So this is just vacuuming my mattress for about a minute. This is the first time I'm using the vacuum cleaner, and there seems to be a lot of dust collected at the bottom of the pan. I don't know which area this dust is coming from. It's probably within the mattress itself, and I wasn't trying very hard, so at least this is working, I guess. So just vacuuming under my computer table, you can see like the floor has got small patches of hair and dust and so on. So let's try. Now I've just been vacuuming my floor for I think the last 1 to 2 minutes, so just a small area. I can actually already see there is quite a lot of dust down here. You know, for the sake of okay, and that's not the majority of the dust. The majority of the dust is actually down here. Okay, let me just see if I can. I wish they gave a brush to actually like clean this thing up. So let me just use a tissue to clean this thing up. Sorry, my hands are in the way, but oof. Should actually been doing this outside rather than here. Okay, so this is after 1-2 minutes of vacuuming. I'm seeing some things moving, so probably ends somewhere. I think to clean this, you just get one of those paint brushes, not the big ones, but like a narrow, maybe an inch one, so that when you open this, you can just brush the inside portion, so we can get rid of the dust. Okay. What other thing? Let's have a look at the roller. This is after 1 minute of use. The soft roller seems fine, except that the corners will have some dust attached to it. The dust mite roller, I'm not so sure. Now the back portion actually has this strip of looks like an anti-lint scraper or something. This thing is a bit loose, so I'm not sure what this is for. Probably not that necessary. Okay, the rest are all fine. Okay, So let me just clean this thing up and then I'll give you my final thoughts of this first day and whether you should get it or not. So this is my closing thought on the first day use, which I've probably used about half an hour. Now I actually bought the Bossman Kaden Pro K3, which is the one in purple color, and these are the standard accessories that came with it. Okay, so we've got the soft roller extension, wall mount plate, the dust mite tool, the crevice tool, the tapered tool, and of course the main vacuum cleaner with the removable battery with indication lights. Now I bought this unit on a special sale with a bit of discount for under 300 ringgits. The recommended retail price is probably about 340, so that's about 10-15% lower. Now there are also many other different models with the same brand, also marketed as PerySmith. This is registered in Japan but probably not made in Japan. Okay, now the difference between the K2 and K3, this is the K3, the K2 is red in color, and the K2 box doesn't have the dust mite tool, and the K2 whilst in red color has a different brush. It actually has a bristle brush. This is a soft brush, so I think this is better in picking up small flakes of dust. All right, now because of that reason, this is actually a newer brush compared to the one on the K2. So because of the soft brush and also the dust mite tool, the difference of price for about 50 ringgits, I think that this is a better buy, so I actually got this. Now I guess in terms of my thought process on why I actually bought this compared to the other brands is there's a removable battery, so if the battery goes dead after a few months, I can just change the battery under warranty, so that's good, right? Then the second thing would be it's got apparently washable filters, so I can wash all of it. Okay, although I didn't particularly like the round final filter or the main filter, which doesn't seem to be HEPA, but I've got ideas around how I can actually make that better. I actually like the release tool. Basically the clamps is on the top rather than attached to the bottom cover, so it doesn't get dirty. Okay, I actually like the LED lights on the floor brush. That is actually very useful to see which area has got a lot of dust on it. If you compare to some other brand who does not have the LED lights, it's actually harder to see the dust. Okay, and the rest of the other things are pretty standard, right? So PerySmith also has the Extreme series, the X series. I was also looking at the X30. Now the X30 from PerySmith does not have a removable battery. It's all built in, so I was worried about that. And also it does not have a wall mounting plate, so because of that I did not buy that, and that X30 didn't come with the dust mite tool as well. Now the other brands I looked at were also like there was the Airboard, and that is actually quite good. It has got a good HEPA filter, but it doesn't have lights on the floor brush, and that's the reason why I didn't get that. Okay, so I will use this for a bit. I need to figure out a way to make the filter better, because I don't want the dust to like come out, or the fumes to come out of the vacuum. I will think about that, and then I will also append it to the end of this video. Okay, so the vacuuming power is sufficient, I think, even for the normal suction. That is sufficient to vacuum the floor. If you want a stronger, you can turn on the turbo power at expense of battery life. All right. I also want to mention online, based on reviews, most users are okay. Those people that had problems with this particular unit had two main problems. The first one was that the floor brush, the rotating floor brush, a few users, actually quite a few users, complained that after a while the roller brush doesn't rotate anymore and the lights doesn't come on. That's one problem. And based on what I read, it's like we got to use this just moving forward and we can't pull it back. That's a bit of a bummer. So I'll go figure out after a few weeks of trying this and see what comes out. The other problem that I read quite at least a few users online were that after using it for a few weeks, or 1, 2, 3 weeks, the battery doesn't work anymore, and it doesn't turn on the vacuum cleaner anymore. So I will watch out for that as well to see if I have the same experience, but as of now everything is actually working. Other than that, I want to also mention that the floor brush is washable, so is the dust mite tool. You can actually open and wash the brush inside, and it's not that heavy, so it's quite good a tool. Now I believe that there are quite a few other reviews out there, but after watching a lot of it, I don't get a lot of the answers, especially on the filters. So if you have got any questions that you're not clear of, please feel free to ask the questions in the comments below. I hope like this is helpful for you to decide whether this is a useful unit to you or not. For me, this is only the first day, so I am going to use it and maybe come back with a separate video after a few weeks. Alright, see you in the next video. I want to share a quick tip with all the users. Now, one of the major, I guess, complaint or letdown that I have is like the filter inside is actually a sponge based filter. It's not, I don't think it's a HEPA based filter. So to actually help with promoting that filter life as well as improving the filter, let me just show you what you can do. So let me just remove this. Okay, so remember that on top of the suction motor there is actually a sponge. So let me just remove the suction motor first. So this is the suction motor. So when you open this, okay, so this sponge we are not going to touch. And just to show you again that this is the air outlet where the air comes out. We are not going to touch this sponge at all. Let me just close this thing back. So that's the suction motor. I'm just going to leave this aside. Now under the suction motor, there's actually a, well, what they call like the main filter, and this is replaceable. So this, as I said, this doesn't look like and doesn't feel like a HEPA filter, so whatever. Now underneath the main filter, there's actually a round sponge, and this just feels like just a normal sponge, okay, but it's circular and this in shape. So what I've done is I've taken one of our 3-ply masks and I've basically cut a circular round of the 3-ply mask and into a circular shape that fits, that covers the first level sponge filter, right? So what we're going to do is just to put it underneath, of course the external side, which is the blue side facing down, right? So we're just going to like close this like this. Let me make sure that it's placed properly. There we go. So you can see like that's the 3-ply mask. And then I'm just going to put the round sponge then the main filter. So if you see this, you can actually see the 3-ply mask all around. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is so that 3-ply mask would filter all the dust, so it doesn't actually get to the main filter or even the sponge. Okay, just make sure it's tight, and then we'll close this. Okay, and I'm going to put this thing back. Okay, now this would actually prolong the life of your filter, and it actually will provide much better filtering. So this is a tip that you can use, and you know, a single 3-ply mask right now costs a few cents. That is way cheaper than this replacement filter. Alright, so that's the tip. And after you've installed the 3-ply mask filter, the suction is almost like, so no problem at all.